Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the I Gotta Girl podcast. I'm Coach Jackie, and I am just beyond excited to bring to you this amazing woman that I met a couple of years ago. I can't even count how many years now because I feel like it all blends. But we met virtually, and then we actually got to meet in person out in Seattle, Washington area. And she brings so much joy to my life over the years, and so much inspiration, and we have so much fun having these conversations, and we pull nuggets from each other, and then we walk away like, oh, I feel so much like lighter or brighter or smarter when we leave our conversations. Because something that I love about Karen Ray is that we don't just talk about the weather. Like, we talk about real shit. Let's be honest. And we've done that for years, and we've gotten better and better with it over the years. And so, without further ado, I'm just going to hand it to you and let you tell the world about yourself, because I could go on forever, but I want you to share what you want to share.
Oh my gosh, Jackie, we've had so many meaningful conversations, like you said, diving deep into what it is to be a woman, to take brave steps. And actually, that's what I'm doing now. Is I've also created a podcast and a magazine called Being Brave Tour. And it's really about women experiencing the beauty within. And that's kind of what our
Yes.
conversations have always been. And that's what today is about too, is we're gonna try to dive a little bit deep and see what that I got it girl means to the world. And
Mhm.
I'll be sharing a little bit of my story. But it's some of those brave moments. And I mean, we were
Yes.
talking earlier too. It's not about just going, "Oh, I was brave." It's celebrating it. It's like sometimes laughing at some of the missteps along the way too, and kind of finding the delight in those moments and go, "You know what? Hey, I really was brave," and taking a look
Mhm.
at what "I got it, girl" means and how that's played out in our stories. It's all kinda interweaves so I just love that you have invited me because it's, to see you creating this "I got it, girl." I think we can all relate to that. And at Fave and in our podcast magazine, well, we have these little signs that say "I relate" because
Yes.
there's so
Yes.
many relatable moments that we all go through. Our stories might be different, but there's those moments that we go, "Yeah, I can, I can relate to that because I walked through that something similar too." Yeah.
Totally. Like, and what's funny is you're one of the inspirations of people that have been you're so magical at highlighting people and shining light on them. And I remember I've if you've been listening to the podcast, you've heard how I was a guest for many, many years, and I refused to do a podcast. And people kept telling me, like, you should do one, you should do one. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do all that work. And I was always admired people who did it. And then I realized, like, I just love these conversations, and I was admiring you doing yours, and you've had me on yours, and so to have you here is like, it's like, I don't know, I get a little like giddy when I've got like the ones who are really good at it, on my podcast with me. And I look
Oh,
at you as
that's
that, you and the Lori Hardy, who was last week's podcast. And so yeah, I'm honored to have you here. And so, as you guys know, this is the I Gotta Go podcast. And I would love to hear, the I Got a Girl is the one who's just very like we talking earlier, the high achiever, the one who's in control, as I say. And I call it like this control from like this death grip on the wheel, and usually it's from a place of fear or
Mhm.
scarcity or survival, right? And
Right.
that's not a bad thing because it can create quite a life from that place. But I know I've been doing this coaching thing my whole life, but this business I've been doing about 7 years. And I discovered just about 2, 3 years ago, especially through like my relationship and through my business, that I was missing out on a lot of things because I was just in like so much control and I wouldn't let go. And when I discovered that feeling of surrendering, trusting, and letting go, which is really scary at first, right?
Right.
Then I was like, oh, I get to receive so much more. I get to receive amazing women like you in my life. I get to receive my relationship at a deeper level. I get to receive love. Hello. Like, we say we want it, but I kept it at a distance. So I would love to hear what comes up for you. What stories or what things do you want to
Mhm.
share in that realm?
Yeah, a lot of stories, I tell you.
I know it's not just one. That's why I think we're going to have multiple
Oh,
episodes, by the way.
and it's funny, I think it must be a theme for me this week because I had a conversation earlier on my podcast up kind of around this, and it brought something up for me. And it's a different word than I've used, but it really rang true for me in a lot of my stories. And kind of it was this I got it girl. It's like over functioning in relationships, and a little bit about, you know, I got it. I can hold it all together. I can be the foundation for everybody. I got you. I got your feelings and your, take responsibility for all your choices and all your feelings and everything. I gotcha. I gotcha. And, just overdoing everything, like over giving in everywhere, in places sometimes where people haven't even asked and they didn't
Mhm.
necessarily even want it. But it took over because it's a little bit of a control. It's a little bit about not feeling enough. It's about a little bit about, I got it. I can take care of it. I can handle these things. I've done it a million times. You know what it brought up for me is that there was a time when I was walking through a divorce that somebody very close to me, he said, what happened to you? You used to be able to do it all.
Mm,
And I said, you know what? I'm
mm.
choosing not to do it all anymore.
Ooh, my body just took that one in.
And then it
Ooh.
came up with my counselor. And this is kind of that piece in the I got it girl where for me, and I know it shows up different for everybody, but I was showing up for everyone and everything else except for myself. So one day during force, I had purposely gotten a male counselor because I wanted to understand the male perspective in this whole situation. And I had been working with him for a while, and he goes, Karen, he goes, I have a piece of paper for you over there. And he goes, I want you to write a word how you feel in your life, in your marriage. And he had already written a word. And I'm thinking, oh, what's he expecting?
How can I do this right?
How can I do it right? I've got my P's and Q's in order. I don't have, I'm fine. That's kind of like that. I
Ooh,
got it.
that
I'm
F word.
fine. I got it all together, blah, blah, blah. And so I finally broke down and wrote the word how I really felt. And I wrote a word, and he goes, okay, lift up your paper. I mean, this paper was like huge and big black Sharpie. And so we lifted up our papers. We had the same word, and it was the word invisible. I didn't have it. I wasn't the I got it girl. I was living to the expectations and all this. I was not showing up for myself. And he goes, Karen, you are invisible in your own life. He goes, it doesn't have anything to show in your life, in your marriage. He goes, it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. He goes, it has everything to do with you and how you're showing up for yourself.
Oof. I just got goosebumps from head to toe. And it's funny, I've heard this story before, and
Yeah.
yet it it actually it came across more powerful this time with you sharing it because of the work that you've done, like for yourself since I met you, and I've heard this story. Um, and I know that people highly relate. I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people relating to that feeling invisible. I literally just got off a conversation with a client right before you, and it's exactly how she feels.
Mm.
Exactly how she feels. And so feeling that, recognizing that, how did you shift from that moment? You get this word and you're like, oh, a Mack truck just hit me in the face, right?
Oh gosh,
um,
yeah. Jackie, yeah, and it's funny because I was just asked this on another place. What were your steps that you took? What did you do when you walked out of that room? Well, first of all, I cried. I had to release. I had to just let it go. And I had to come to the realization, and I had to go face myself in the mirror and go, honey, you're not showing up for you. I don't
mhm,
know what that looked like though, because there was a time previously to that, as I was with another counselor going through marriage counseling, and she had taken me aside one day, and she goes, you're being a doormat. But that's all she said. She didn't say how to not be a doormat, how you were showing up as a doormat
mhm,
and all these things. So there was no steps to walk out of that.
mhm,
So here I am, so many months later in a different place. And so I had to discover what did that look like for me to show up for myself.
mhm. Well, what did you have to let go of at that point? Because a big piece of the I Got a Girl you mentioned earlier was really about like, I got it, I got me, I got you, I got the whole world, I got everything on my shoulders. I'll hold your feelings, I'll hold your crap, you know what I mean? Like, and and I love that you pointed that out because sometimes we're just like I was the fierce independent I got it. I don't need anybody's help kind of I got it girl, right? um and when you said that, I didn't realize, oh yeah, no, I was carrying my stuff and others because I didn't have kids and a family and stuff like that. Like for until now, I have a married into family, but I didn't have all the heavy responsibilities that a lot of people carry. So I didn't necessarily have I didn't necessarily think I had the piece of I'll carry everybody's load. But when you said it, I was like, yep, I carried my first marriage. I allowed, I took on all of his challenges, had to fix them. Oh yeah, and then I did that again over here, so what did you have to let go of when you were going through the journey?
Well, it's always a long process because first of
Yeah.
all, I had to identify a lot of what I was doing,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, and then I wasn't all conscious, but I took it. I worked with so many people, and you and I have had so many discussions, and I think it was first of all just becoming aware of how I was showing up for other people and going,
Mhm.
and going to the facts. It's like, did I really need to just do that? Or, it's just, and it's just layer by layer. I mean, it's a
Mhm.
long process. It just doesn't happen overnight.
No, no,
Going
it's
from the
never a
I
one and
got
done.
it, girl. And I still have to stop myself sometimes and ask myself, okay, am I doing this for somebody else, or how is this going to impact me? And that's, I think, at the age that I'm at now, your energy, your focus, all these things start changing.
Yeah.
And you don't have the energy to do it all like you used to do, you know? And I wasn't super fierce about it. I'm a little bit more relaxed and whatever, but I'm a doer. And so I would
Mhm.
overdo a lot and
Mhm.
wear myself out. I did take on all oh, I can sell everything in the house and list it and do all these things. It was crazy. It was crazy. But little by little, I would start making decisions and start like taking 100% responsibility for me. I really had to, I was in that survival mode that I really had, I was kind of forced to let go of some of that,
Mhm.
some of
Mhm.
the, I got you, because I had to carry me a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point because there's multiple, like we were saying earlier, like everyone has their own version of this in
Yeah.
life and stuff.
Oh,
And a
yeah.
couple things I want to pinpoint a couple things you said. One, you said that I oh, see, this is why I need to take notes as I talk to you sometimes because I have so many things popcorning as you talk. Um, awareness. Awareness is the first step to everything. So if you're not sure how to get started on the change that you desire, well, you have desiring the change is number one. But even before that is the awareness of like, well, like, what am I? Who am I being? Like, how am I responding? And then the other thing you said too about I do this thing called PAR. I'm not sure if I've shared that with you, but it's where you said sometimes you just got to pause and assess the situation. So P is pause, A is assess, R is like respond instead of react. Because so many times in life we want to react to something, and you're like, okay, I got to sell the house. We're getting divorced. I got to do all the things. Like when my husband said to me, and I don't know if I've shared the story in the podcast yet, but my ex first husband is gay, and when he told me that he's gay, I was like, okay, I didn't cry. I went into fix it mode. I was like, okay, you
Yeah.
get this room of furniture, I get this room of furniture, boom, 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 boom. We'll do this. We'll move out here. And I didn't allow myself to go into any kind of emotions. That was reacting instead of just pausing and assessing and going, okay, breathe and respond. And the last two R's is receiving and releasing. And so what I'm hearing you say, it's like I get to choose when I pause and assess the situation, I get to respond and receive what is meant for me in this moment and release what does not serve me. Serving all those people like you did and taking on everything of everybody else's issues didn't serve you. You had to serve yourself.
Right.
That's huge. And people need to hear that right there.
Yeah, and I'm still putting that into practice as new
Yeah.
challenges come up because we've got different situations, a lot of relationships, and we've got kids, friends, all
Hmm.
these different things. And pause is a big one. In fact, I was going to jump in and say something to around this one situation. I thought, you know what, I have too much emotion around it right now. So I thought I
Mm.
need to really pause, let it kind of settle, let the really kind of figure out what is it that I'm feeling. And a lot of times it's fear. There's fear
Mhm.
around different things. And so yeah, there's just so much to it. But I think one of the things that was really encouraging along the way um, and one of those moments of celebration was that a girlfriend during that really blusterous time, that chaotic
Mhm.
time where I was growing and trying to step into me and looking at the beauty within and be showing up as myself. A girlfriend said, she goes, "Welcome back."
Mm.
And I said, "It's
I
not."
love
She
it.
goes, "Karen," she goes, "when you throughout you," she goes, "when I first met you before you were married," she goes, "you were this vibrant personality." She goes, "and somehow through the years, it kind of got covered up." She goes, "Welcome back." She goes, "You are vibrant again."
Oh, oh,
I said,
I love that.
I cried. I thought, "Thank you." I didn't realize, because I was taking on everybody, so everybody else's stuff was hanging around me, and I was still in there somewhere,
Mhm.
but carrying that heavy load, that vibrancy or whatever your personality is. It can fizzle or not be out there and shining or whatever. So it
No, she's always in, and I'm a firm believer of that. And I thank you for bringing that up because I'm a firm believer that she's inside of us, the version of us, and she's dying to come out back out and play. And
Yeah.
like we were on a creative in the membership, we were doing a creativity session on Tuesday with Heather Ross from your area, and she was teaching us some stuff, and it was we were laughing so hard about how we were so fearless and creative as a kid. Like we would take like an empty egg carton and make it something fabulous. We would take like, mud pies and easy bake ovens and light brights and but we would like we didn't pause in our creativity. We just allowed it and we had so much fun. I remember being like the teacher in front of the room and I would like set up desks with papers and I wasn't worried about people think about me doing this or that and that version of that fearless that lit up that fun that version that your friend pointed out to you, she's still in there. And so
Mhm.
if you're hearing what Karen's saying right now and you're like, yeah, I remember that. She hasn't gone anywhere. So thank you for bringing that up because she's still in there and it's we get to bring her back out. We get to
Yes.
let her come out and play.
And in our magazine, I mean, you have been featured in our debut issue. That's what it's about, Jackie, is experiencing that beauty within, letting
Mhm.
child, that girlfriend, come out and play, or experience the wonder of the world. Like, just go and look at some clouds. I went for a walk yesterday, and I just looked at the moss on the trees, and I thought, isn't it interesting how there could be that much moss and yet still flowers blooming on that tree?
Mhm.
And I thought, isn't that
Nature and trees like blow
beautiful?
my mind. Like water, nature, trees, all of it. I'm
Yeah.
like, they just take the path of least resistance. They survive. Like aspens work in a community. Like aspen trees are a community. I don't know if you knew that, but like there's at least
Oh,
like when you see aspens, the root
yes.
system is all the trees. And I'm like, that's the community we need. That's the, like we can't do this alone. Like we're not meant to do this alone. All right. You brought up the magazine. Please tell us more about that and what, like, give us examples. I've been featured in it, but I want them to hear more about what it is that you're doing.
It's a little reflection. So this is totally different. Usually you have a magazine, you have articles, and they're beautiful. It's lovely. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted them to experience you, Jackie. What would it be like if they had 5 minutes with Jackie? And you have created a little unmask the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so she can sit there with her coffee, and it's just a little bit of 10 minutes of me time.
Mm-hmm.
Just uncover something or recognize how vibrant you are, or maybe what mask you've been wearing and going, laughing, and yeah, that's that. I've been doing that. And there's other things in the magazines too. And it's a free magazine. It's a free downloadable with a direct link. We're not even asking for
Awesome.
your email, nothing. We want you to experience what Jackie has for you to walk through. Here you have a girlfriend right in your back pocket. And there's
So
other
good.
ones where it's a song and you can doodle to the song because Vanessa Lytrell is AKA Sugar Addict. And she is
Mhm.
a musician and a teacher and all these different things. And she has a song out there on Spotify. And so we gave you the link to the song. There's another one where maybe you need to bolster your confidence a little bit. Nicole Cowley takes you through this lovely little exercise. And sometimes they're little journal prompts, sometimes it's a little audio meditation, or
Mhm.
a little tap dance. This is the one of the funnest ones. I just absolutely Ashley Borromeo has a little tap dance where it's like heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, toe, heel. And you can do it with your hand. It's just a way to get your mind refocused, laugh at yourself. So I tried it and I couldn't do it at all at first. I'm
I'm
like,
trying it underneath the counter here, but underneath the computer, I have my foot going heel,
yeah,
toe, toe, heel. That's fun.
yes. And so it's just these little moments for yourself and
Yeah.
prompts, little ways to uncover, you know, kind of address that "I got it, girl" syndrome, and maybe
Mhm.
or recognize areas where you do have it and
Mhm.
celebrating it, because "I got it, girl" is not necessarily something negative. There's a lot of goodness and beauty,
Mhm.
all these things make and what if we celebrated that?
Mhm.
Those moments where, good or bad and laugh at and have a little humor around it, and that's really what the magazine is about, and then we just support the magazine with a podcast because people like you who have been in it come and walk us through your reflection.
Mhm. And I had so much fun doing it, and I can't believe I forgot I was the featured. I forgot that was the very first one you did, and so
Mhm.
now there's been so many amazing, amazing women featured in these magazines, and I'm always blown away that it's a free magazine for people without any kind of email list or this and that, and that's impressive.
Yes.
And the two parts of it. One, I love how we get to experience each of these women and we're learning, like we're growing through like what it is that they're sharing and shining the light on them so that they can serve others through this magazine. It's just such a cool concept and I'm just so proud of you and I love it. And so we'll be putting all that information in the show notes below for you. So don't worry, you'll get your access. And you can be one of those highlighted women as well in her magazine if you choose to, and on her podcast. If it's like, if you have, when you see them, you'll go, oh, I want to share my quirkiness. I want to share my my little thing in there and my wisdom because something that I was hearing, like there was a question I asked on Facebook yesterday, or no, a couple days ago, and it'll be way gone once you get this episode. But anyway, it was like if you had all the money and like, money was an object, what would you do with it? And hearing the stories of what women will do with wealth through that they've created through their own gifts and magic, it was so beautiful to see what women do when women have power, knowledge, money in like as and I mean that like from this place of in heart, they do some magical stuff. And
Yeah.
so having something, a resource like you have to help people acknowledge that in themselves and be aware of it and then express it into the world, we need a lot more of it. And so thank you for doing this.
Yes, yes, thank you. It's I can feel like it's God inspired to come and celebrate 1,000,000 women. Excuse
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so and it's just I feel like it's a little gift to ladies. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
we know you have life is not easy always. We have so many life things that happen. And what if you have a girlfriend just kind of holding your hand? One of the articles or one of the resources is a conversation with a girlfriend. And Christina Johnson is not an entrepreneur. She's not in business. She's a corporate gal. She goes,
Mm-hmm.
I just really want women to know that they're not alone
I,
and that
that is like
we're here
huge.
for them. And
That's a big, big piece of the. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, she just wanted people to know. And so it's this darling little conversation that you can pull out and have your little girlfriend right there. Ask her
Mm-hmm.
questions. How are you? What are you
Yeah.
feeling? It's really cute. So I just love it.
The I got it. That's a big part of the I got it girl is that she definitely feels like she has to do it alone. That like
Yeah.
I don't like if I because there's a sense of I grew up with a sense of like it's strong, you're strong if you can handle it. Like if you can take care of it.
Yeah.
You you can figure it out. Like you don't need anybody to help you with that. Like you got it.
Like you're already supposed to know everything.
And gosh, is that exhausting.
Isn't
Like,
it?
and and like when I look at my life from the 30 years of the restaurant industry, I met thousands and thousands and thousands of people, right? People that I've worked with, customers, like everything, all the things. And if you look at the people that I have in my life from that time frame, from birth till I started my business, let's say, I've got probably three solid people in my life from college, not even my work world. if you look at what I've got since I started this business,
Mm,
because I've stripped back my own layers, because I've done my own healing, because I've done the work on me, because I've become the woman that God has meant for me to become in this world, I have more ride or dies, if you want to call them, now in my life. And we don't have to talk all the time, but I could pick up the phone in a heartbeat and be like, I need you. Like,
yeah.
and you'd be there. And that quality in a shorter period of time is because I stopped trying to do it all myself,
Yeah.
because I allowed other people to support me, because I let go of that control of like, I need to be the one who fixes everything. The addiction to problem solving. Woof, that's a big one, right? I had to let go of that one. Like, do I still solve problems? Heck yeah. Am I an expert at it? Heck yeah. Did I learn that from the I Got a Girl? Heck yeah. And I don't gotta do it all.
Do it all.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Isn't that just like, oh wait, I
so
don't
much
have to do
lighter.
it all anymore. I choose not to. I I wrote a thing the other day saying that um my goal is to have a more manageable life because I can, like I said, I can overdo it. It's like, oh, I can do 12, I can do 2 magazines back to back. And yeah, sure, I can. But it's a really
Doesn't mean I
exhausting.
should be.
And I thought I got a little burnt out, to be quite honest. And I thought, no, I need to pace this out. And I was learning because I wasn't sure all what was involved because I had never done a magazine. This was like,
Right.
oh, I think I'll have to do a magazine. Okay, let's throw it out there. And so, the graphics, all that, it's, there's so many pieces to it, getting it out there on social media, promoting it,
Mhm.
all those things. And I just thought, I need a little breather. I need to create
Mhm.
a system that's now going to flow. And
Mhm.
especially as a team of one. And now I have a little helper, a girlfriend has come and volunteered
Oh,
sometimes to
nice.
help with it. But yes, and but yeah, just taking a different perspective on what this I Got It Girl looks like. And it's like, maybe I should let them have their own responsibilities. And that's one of the
Mhm.
big things I'm letting go. Jackie, you were talking about letting go earlier. Allowing people to have their own choices and their own mistakes, and that I'm not responsible for it. That's been a
Oof.
really, really big one for me. Yeah.
That's a good one.
And
That's a
it's
good one.
heart-wrenching, because we got kiddos that sometimes, make choices that we don't agree with. And
Yes.
um,
Yes, not owning it is heart-wrenching, and I see that a lot. I work with a lot of moms, with all different age range as with clients, and I never personally had my own kids. So but it actually helps having this outside perspective that's not so stuck in the jar of living in the light. And sometimes it can sound pretty harsh when I suggest exactly what you said when we talk about, like, and this is just an example with kids, but this can happen with your partner, this can happen with your
yes,
business
absolutely.
business people, it can happen in work and all the things. It's like when you realize the only thing you have control over is yourself and you take radical responsibility and own that, your
Mm,
anxiety, your overwhelm, your everything goes down. Now, the transition to making that choice and moving through that uncomfortability of like, no, I'm not going to save them. No, I'm not going to do it for them. No, like you have to literally like hold tight. And
you
after you do
do.
it a few times, you realize I feel so much better.
Yeah.
And they, especially the conversations I have with people with children, their children benefit from you not doing it all for them. They benefit from not trying to solve it for them. They benefit, they grow, they learn, they become um, productive, like more, I don't know how to say it, adapted humans in life because they had to go through their own shit. We had to. So they have to too. And I battle this. And I say this, I battled this for a couple of years with the step kid thing, like with getting 4 step kids after getting married and having these children. They're not my children. I have
Right.
to tread lightly. And I had a stepmom. I was a step kid, and I learned to like let go, let God, and they'll receive. And when I did that is when they started coming to me. When they started, like, I was trying so hard for years, for the first 6 years, trying so hard to like I can help them, I can fix them, I can do this, I can. And then when I let go, they liked me a lot more. Let me just say, after I let go. But yeah, it's yeah. We could probably go on and on.
Yeah.
So let's
And one of the reasons too, I think I started Fave and have kept with this because I could be retired. I don't
mhm,
necessarily have to be doing this, but I think it keeps me grounded in taking responsibility for me.
that's a good one. I
So I
love that.
don't over focus on other things outside because I know that is something that I do.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, well, I have to replace that whirling of thoughts and feelings for everybody else to my own. It's
Well, and it
to keep
for
grounded.
years it gives you purpose, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
and
Yes.
then it's like, well, who are you without that purpose? So
I
when ki-
know.
when kids go off to college and mothers are devastated, and I'm like, well, who are you without your children in the household? Like, who are you without?
Okay, I have a funny story about that. So my son, when he went off to college, my older son, when he went off to college, because he went away, and I was there, I was happy. I thought I had prepared myself. I thought he's going to go to college. He's going to go have his life. He needs to go experience. I was actually there and I was like celebrating. And I saw these moms crying. I was consoling them. I'm like, are you okay? I did talk to them and I'm like, aren't you happy for them? And they're like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I had already realized that I needed to become my own person. And so I had already started filming and creating a
Yeah,
web show before he left. I thought I got to create something for myself because I need to
that's
allow
awesome.
that little birdie to fly.
I would be definitely been your version of a parent if I had kids
Oh my God,
myself.
it was fun.
Because like the first thing I did when the stepkids came in, I was like, why don't these kids have licenses and they're all old enough to have licenses? So I helped them all get licenses and cars and freedom.
Yes.
And it'd
Freedom
be
kids.
I was like, what? Like get them out doing their own thing. And they didn't that's a whole nother story, but it wasn't their fault that they were. And it was kind of this like that's what they got handed down by their parent, one of their parents. And it was like, oh, we are allowed to do that. We can do that. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's get you some freedom, kids. So it was very like it was interesting.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh. Yes.
well,
Freedom. So
I think we'll probably end up doing more episodes in the future together. There's a lot of things that we could dive into. But before we wrap it up, I'd love to. We talked about the magazine, and we'll drop all the links for that. Is there anywhere else that they can stay in touch with you and follow you in the world? What are the best places for them so they can keep Karen in their life?
oh yes, yes. Really, what I really would love for them is to keep the magazine because I know when they connect with your reflection and Jody's and Deanna's and all these things, so you write your story, all these things, just it builds and it grows, and women really can experience that beauty within. So currently, all the magazines, all the links are at favelifestyles.app. It's a
Okay.
website. It's a
Okay. Awesome.
www.favelifestyles.app. And it's just there's just so much beauty, girls. Let's just join hands and lift each other up, ask for help. And that's the other thing that's really unique about our magazine is that all the ladies there have their information that you can connect and walk through that reflection
Hmm.
with them. So Jackie has donated half hour of her time if you want to walk through that reflection.
Hmm. Yep. And
There,
please take us up on it. Like
yeah.
I tell people, like we offer these things and people don't take us up on it. I'm like, we want to go deeper with you in that, because mine's about talking about peeling masks off and this and that. And who are you and what's your identity now? And that's some hard stuff. So take us up on that. Like when we offer stuff, here you go. Ready? Allow yourself to receive.
Yes.
We'll leave it on that note. That's a whole nother episode. I think I need to do a personal episode on receiving. But yeah, receive the goodness. So thank you. You are goodness in my
Yes.
life. I appreciate having you in my life and having you here. And I look forward to getting this out to all the people because we need to shine our light on you for as much as you shine it for us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe and follow or wherever you're catching us, whether it's on YouTube or on your podcast channel of choice. And share this with a woman that you know could use all of the nuggets that Karen shared today. So thank you so much.